So screen is seen, correct?
Yes.
Great. So who we are? We are your inspiring training partner. We specialize in soft skills, technical courses, training development, and consulting services. Need to mute someone, so only I will be active. So CPPEX Global is a leading business process improvement, training, and consulting firm managed by a core team of professional experts, helping print, packaging organizations to enhance significantly their productivity. What you can see in the table below, let me make it bigger. Maybe like this. So we have more than we have more than 100 trainers and consultants all over the world. We also speak more than 5 languages. That's why our workshops can be conducted in 5 languages. Today it will be English, the most popular one, international. We have more than 10 scholarships that we annually give to packaging students and printing and packaging students of colleges. What else? We have trained more than 5,000 printing and packaging professionals in the last years, last 15 years to be precise. And last but not least, we have over 1,000 companies that trust us. You will see them in the following slides. So let's proceed. So it's a history line of us. We were established in 2005. 3 years later, we started giving training and consultancy services. Right now, what we are at? We are at our plan to expand to East Asia. And 3 years ago, we also started giving Best Operator Awards. You will see more about it in the next slides. And above you can see like 5 ways we are concentrated on. It's on-site training, online training, on-site consultancy, operator skill gap analysis, and workshops today. Let's go next. Yes, I just saw the chat. If I'm not mistaken, you will receive all of you recorded session. Maybe I'll do it myself. I'll send to everyone. So what we do? As you can see, we have 4 general categories: training, certification, consulting, and skill gap analysis. So the differences you can see below. On training, we are focused on business optimizations and improvement to reach the desired levels of your employer, for example, and company. Certification. We are focused more on individual qualifications, knowledge, skills, and job competencies in your organization. Consulting, it's consulting. Focused on helping organizations towards their journey of deploying best practices and strategies for business improvement. Skills gap analysis, the most maybe interesting one. We are helping organizations through in-depth skill gap analysis of the whole workforce to encourage healthy competition, to enhance productivity. So we find weak spots and make employees better with the skills in the area. Let's go next. How we do it? Training need analysis. solution development, content creation, and delivery. As you can see, about 67% of manufacturing losses is linked to workforce skills. So if we concentrate of teaching workforce, so we eliminate this 6-7% loss. Training need analysis, it's just like stuff to be assessed, skill gap analysis provided on their current skills and knowledge. Based on that, we develop solution. So we design solutions aligned to industry award-winning standards. After that, we create content based on above. We assess requirements, prepare new course materials, and the last one, host trainings, obtain your feedback, and evaluate the candidates. Next slides is just a glimpse of what we offer. So the most popular you can see, cylinder quality management, flexographic printing, offset printing, rotogravure printing, flexoplate quality management. And in the next slide, food safety management, paper quality management, print quality management, and more of it. It's not the end. Based again on your organization and requirements, we can mix them based to your individual needs. What else? Consulting services. We consult regarding business development, new product development, business innovation, process optimization, and market analysis. So we are maximizing the performance of organization, people, and process. Certification, as was mentioned before, we offer comprehensive certification program for professional associated with printing, packaging, and all associated industries. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, certified press operator, print supervisor, design pre-press operator, colors management technician, and aseptic packaging professionals. And of course, we are accredited against ISO 12647 and ANSI. Another interesting slide, it's regarding our membership that you can join individually or as a company. So we have 24 now corporate membership, 71 associate memberships, individual 152, and students, the most popular one, 350. So what you gain as a customer: defects reduction, process precision, process stabilization, flexible changeover, reduce downtime, increase productivity. So all you can see in the tree, you gain from us. So to sum up, quality, production, and profit. And now you have a look at companies we are in contact with. So it's our 15 years journey. Some of the companies, I'm not sure. Maybe we have participants of these companies in the picture. Anyone?
Yes, I mean Navco National.
Great, Jean. I forgot. Okay, I see Sapin. Okay. Also, maybe the most famous for me is Tetra Pak, as even when I drink juice, I pay attention to it. Okay, next one are global partners. FVET, SDT, Iveta, and one more, Print Code Instruments. Okay, now a short look at trainers. Again, not all you can see. There is no David Ross here, but you can see him in the chat. Okay, let's go next. So we are specialized in press room consumable and equipment. You can see our offerings in flexography, rotogravure, thinner, retarder. So we have accelerators, additives, rotoclean, WS, and flexoclean. One more slide dedicated to equipment. Printing inks, ink lab equipment, compressed air solution, solvent storage tanks. And if you're interested, you can always find us for now, it's only 5. Yes, only 5 locations worldwide. And for all of the locations, we have same email. It's info@cppxglobal.org. So if you're interested in memberships, in our workshops, or just products I showed you previous slides, just email. That's it. Finally, I can give my voice to trainer. Muhammad, are you ready?
Thank you very much for your presentations. And let me share my presentations about the inks. Oh, can you make able to me to participate my screen?
Oh, that's I can do. Moment mal. Try again.
Yes. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, Ishfaq, we can see.
Yes. So let's start. So today, this webinar is related to driving excellence in printing inks quality management, because you know the quality control and quality management of inks room is very important in the for printing press and printing companies. Yeah. So hopefully this webinar will be a very helpful for you if you are a printer, and will be a very helpful for you if you are ink supplier, or if you are associated with the printing and packaging companies. So first of all, a brief introduction about myself. Like I am working as a director technical sales for CPEX Global Middle East and North Africa. I am a certified international professional trainer from ACI USA. I am member of NPOA USA, IVTA, FTA Europe, and EFIA. So for qualification, I did MPhil in polymer chemistry, diploma in supply chain management. Then I'm also author of a number of research papers and technical books related to printing and packaging. So if you can see, I also have an author of this printing books, and this book is about the advanced printing and ink technology. If you want to read some advanced techniques for printing inks, definitely you can purchase this book, and you can read all types of information. Then I have more than 12 years hands-on experience, experience in national and international printing and packaging groups. Last 5 years, I'm providing technical trainings and consulting services in Europe, South Asia, and Middle East and North Africa related to paperboard quality management, printing inks quality management, ink room management, and flexographic printing. So all types of trainings. So here are some other books I also have. You can see, like test your printing knowledge. One of the book, another book, We Will Shine with Flying Colors, and also I have some many research papers. Just I mentioned the 2 research papers here. So this is a brief introduction about myself. So a few questions regarding the ink room management or ink quality management. Why driving excellence in printing ink quality management is extremely important for printers? Because if we have a well-managed ink room, or we are controlling the quality of printing inks, we will enhance our press room efficiencies, definitely we will be able to reduce the printing defects and our material waste. Then we will reduce the machine downtime, more billable press time, product quality, consistency, able to achieve higher quality, and repeat ability can be maintained throughout the run and from job to job. And then improved customer retention and gain more new customer. But if we don't have a right ink room management, or we have poor ink room management, definitely we will not have a right press room efficiencies. We will have a lot of defects and lot of waste, more machine downtime, so etc. So how much poor ink room management costing you? Maybe it costing you hundreds thousand USD, maybe it's costing you 200,000 USD, too much. If your operators or your ink technicians are not skillful, you are not properly maintaining the quality of your inks, printing inks, because printing inks is the backbone for your press rooms. So if you have like improper management in your ink room, definitely this will impact not only your finished product, but also your business and your productivity, your profitability. So this is very important. How do you know ink quality management is essential for printer? Because it saves too much time. Maybe some printers are taking the for job approval, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. But if you are standardizing your press room, you are standardizing your ink room, and you are managing the quality of your inks, definitely this will save. Maybe you will take the have approval within 15 minutes, within 10 minutes. So you will save the time if you your ink room or if your ink quality is properly managed. Then you will save a lot of monies. In case of materials saving or ink saving, then material waste. You will save a lot of material waste. Let's check difference between a below mixing varnish. What is the difference between two varnishes? We have some experts from ink manufacturer, and we have some experts from printing. So what is the difference between two varnishes? We have a left side, we have a UX mixing varnish, and on right side, we also have a UX mixing varnish NP. In left side, we have a UTC 00254, or and in right side, we also have a same code UT 0054. What is the difference between both of them? Can anyone share with me? Basically, this is a not this is there is no difference between both varnish. One is for July 2015 production, and other is for August like 2015. But there is color difference. There is a for left side varnish, the viscosity is 20 seconds with John Cup 2, and the right side varnish is viscosity is 15 seconds John Cup 2. So the issue is there is a difference in viscosity, and there is a difference in colors. So if you are printer and you are receiving the any product from your supplier, and for multiple batches, like multiple supply, you are receiving some different, definitely this will impact on your production. This will impact on your machine performance. This will impact on your ink formulations. So if we are using these two type of varnish, and maybe in July we are using this type of varnish, and in August we are using this type of varnish, both have different viscosities. So this will impact on your ink formulations, and definitely when you will supply this ink formulation with these two types of varnish, so this will impact on your color variation on your machines, on delta E values and multiple factors. So this is very important. Another, is it a good quality product? What's your opinion? Are you buying this type of product from your suppliers? Definitely, if you will use this type of product from your ink supplier, and you are printer and you are buying this type of product from your ink supplier, this will impact on your machine productivity. This will impact on your print quality and print consistency. So make sure before bringing the inks to your machines, before bringing the varnishes to your machines, you are checking the quality of your inks properly.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's nice though. It's not cold or anything cold here. It's quite nice.
Is it a question or someone forgot to mute? Okay, let's continue.
Okay. So as a printer, would you like to buy this type of inks quality? Because why I'm sharing all these slides, you must know what type of inks your supplier can supply to you. But it is, if you are printer, it is very important for you to check the quality of each incoming batch in your press room. So definitely, if you are printer, you will not be able to buy this type of inks from your ink supplier. So make sure when you are getting the supply from your ink supplier, so you are checking the physical appearance, you are checking the viscosity, you are checking the number of tests that we will do in our next slides. Okay, is it correct certificate of analysis? If not, what would you like to add? So just this certificate of analysis, this is not basically I personally developed this certificate of analysis. Just I took this certificate of analysis from the market, from one ink supplier is supplying with its product this type of certificates. Like what is it? The product use white, then code, then lot number, just changing the lot numbers. It have a standard format. No, this type of certificate is not right for your ink room management, for your ISO standards, for ROS regulations, for ISO 12647, for ISO 2846. So all these ISOs are not accepting this type of certificate. So make sure when you are receiving the inks from your ink suppliers, if you are printer and if you are an ink manufacturer and you are supplying the inks to your customer, so make sure you are supplying good certificate of analysis and you are supplying, you are getting the good certificate of analysis also from your supplier. So this is very important. So no, this certificate. Don't compromise, optimize your printer efficiency and profitability by ink quality. Very important. Don't compromise on your ink quality. If you are going to compromise on your ink quality, definitely this will impact on your printing process performance, and this will you will have more customer complaints related to printing defects, more machine downtime. So don't compromise and optimize your printing efficiency and profitability by ink quality management, because it helps to reduce online approval time, it reduce material waste, and it enhance print quality and lead time, and also get greater customer satisfactions. This is very important. Like for example, if you are ink suppliers and you are supplying good quality of inks, good certificate of analysis, good like after sales services, so definitely this will improve all these things, and this will make your customer happy. But if you are printers, then you also need to check the ink quality management in your press room. A short and brief introduction about the inks, because we have complete 2 days base training session on ink printing inks quality management, ink room management. So just 2 slides. As a printers, you must know the composition of inks. Inks basically containing the based on the 4 components, resins. We are using the multiple of resins, PU resins, polyurethane resins, polyamide resin, acrylic resins. We are using multiple based on the application and based on the substrate. Then ink also containing the pigments that provide the coloristic properties to the inks. Then we are using solvents and we are using the additive to enhance the properties of this. So each type of inks, either this is a UV based inks or oil based inks or solvent based inks or electron beam inks. So mostly containing these type of ingredients. Printing ink compositions, when we are talking about the printing ink compositions, so mostly as we discussed in our previous slides, so inks based on 4 types of ingredients: pigments, binders, solvents, and additives. So the pigments are from 5 to 15%, then binder from 10 to 30%, and then solvents from 30 to 50%, and then additive from 2 to 8. But this is not, this is a general ratio for printing inks. So you can change according to applications, you can change according to your substrate, you can change according to your printing process. So like what type of additive you want to do, what type of a solvent you want to use in your inks. You are using the water, you are using the water-based inks, or you using the solvent-based inks. So what type of solvent, like you are using a ethanol, you are using the N-propyl alcohol. So it's depend on your process, your requirements. So binder, what type of substrate you are going to be printed. Like you are printing on paper boards, you are printing on craft paper, or you are printing on the BOPP or metallized CPP or whatever. So you need to adjust your ink formulation according to this time. Sometime, if you are a printer, sometime your ink supplier is supplying the general formulation for you, and this general formulation is not workable on your press rooms. So that is why you need to ask your supplier, so what type of binder they are using, what type of pigment they are using, and what type of solvents you need to use. Let's start some actions. And these actions, if you are going to implement these actions, so these actions will helpful to driving the excellence in your ink quality management. Let's action number 1, ink kitchen. Choose the right equipment for your ink kitchen. Choose the right equipments for your ink rooms, for your press room, like moisture analyzers, like rod number, K-bar rod, like analogs, treatment markers, like flexi proofer, like sun tester. If you want to check the like a light fastness of, so you must have a sun tester, especially the customers who are based in Middle East, because sometime in Middle East the temperature is going high and more than 50 Celsius. And when they are exporting their materials to African countries, they are also facing some color fading issues. So they must have a sun tester to check the light fastness of colors. Either they are going to test in BWS scale or gray scale. Then flexi proofer, then lighting booth, spectrodensitometer, pH. If you are water-based, using the water-based inks, and you are using the offset, you have offset printer, so you must also use the pH conductivity meters. And then viscosity, stopwatch. So you must have all these equipments in your lab if you are printers. So if you don't have these type of equipments, it means you cannot control the quality of your ink in your press room. This is very important. So interesting. So what is wrong with this gentleman? Is he doing right? Can anyone share with me? Is he doing right? Any ink suppliers or printers, please. What is wrong with this gentleman? He's a senior operator in, I know one printers, and he's a senior operator. Just he mixing the colors, and he making the drawdown for this color to check either it's okay with the standard or not. So what do you think? Is he doing right?
No, he must make ink drawdown by the bar.
Bar, perfect.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he's not doing wrong, right? Just what he did, just he cut the doctor blade, a small piece of doctor blade, maybe 15 centimeter, maybe 10 centimeter, he cut the doctor blade, and then he making the drawdown. How he will gain the good result on printing press? When he will bring this ink to the printing machines, how he will achieve the good results? So definitely this will not be a good for him. Maybe he will have a like a 2-hour, 3-hour machine downtime. Maybe he will make more adjustment on the machines. So this is very important. choose the right equipments for your ink room, like Analox hand rulers, like K bars, RK proofers, and flexi proofer. These are the equipments that help you to maintain the quality of printing inks in your press rooms. Why K bar is important than Dr. Blade? Because we have a we are using multiple type of K bar. So all K bar rods are not similar. Like if you need a 2 micro wet film deposit about 4 micron, then you cannot use the red, you cannot use the green, you cannot use the orange. You need to use white. And if you need a 50 micron wet film deposit, then you also need to use the horn or you 60 for orange. So K bar is giving us a standard thickness of ink films. This is very important. But how this Dr. Blade piece will give us a standard ink film? No. So always choose the right equipments for your press rooms, for your ink kitchen, if you are going to control the quality of your printing inks. Then action 2, are you going to correlate your lab equipments with your press? Very important questions. If there is no calibration between your press printing machines and there is no between your lab equipments, definitely you will not have a perfect result. Just we did a last couple of months before, we did one experiment here in Middle East. So before the customer had too much waste for materials, too much machine downtime, maybe he was taking like 8 hours for one color matching on machine, adjustment. Then adding black, adding magenta, then this he was doing in this way. So when he calibrated the lab equipments with machine and correlated the lab equipments with the machines, how much he took the benefits? Like he took the like ink adjustment on press 90%, like 90% ink adjustment. He down the 90%. He improved his ink adjustment. Then machine downtime, he reduced 70%. And color variation complaints 85%. Material waste 75%. Like what he did? He did nothing. Just he did the correlate the lab equipments with only printing press. He did this exercise and he standardized the calibration between lab equipments where he's mixing the inks and making the drawdown and then final printing machines. So he achieved these results. Like ink adjustment on the machine, he reduced 90%. Machine downtime, he reduced 70%. Color variation, he complaints related to color variations, he reduced 85%, and the material waste, he reduced 75%. So this is a very important. First actions, you must have a right equipments in your ink lab if you are an ink manufacturer or if you are the printers. Second, calibrate your or correlate your lab equipments with your printing machines if you want to achieve excellence in your press room. No problem. If you are flexo printers or if you are a rotogravier printing, you have rotogravier printing machines. So you need to correlate your lab equipments with your printing machine. For example, sometimes some are using scraper. Just they are mixing the color with scraper. They are making the drawdown with scraper, and they are supplying. They are formulating the inks, and after formulation, they are supplying to the printing machine. No, this is not right way. You need to use right of lab equipments for right proofer for your offset printing machines. If you are offset printing machines, don't rely on scraper because scraper will not give you a right drawdown, right film thickness. So don't use this one. So very important. Then, do you think solvent has a impact on printing quality? Action 3, choose right solvent for your ink rooms. If you are choosing the right solvent for your ink room and for your ink at your press, printing press, you will have a huge impact and you will have a huge benefit for the your business. Like for example, we did an exercise a couple of months before. So like we replace the ethyls with propyls, like ethyl alcohol, ethyl acetate. We replace ethyl alcohol, ethyl acetate with propyl alcohol, propyl acetate. What result we receive? Solvent retention. If you compare the like ethyl solvent, like ethyl ink manufacturer already know we are using the ethyl alcohol and ethyl acetate in inks, and the printer and we are using the propyl alcohol and propyl. So what we found in this exercise, solvent retention, the solvent retaining in your final printed products with ethyl 15 gram per square meters. But with propyl, if you are using the propyl, and when we use propyl, the solvent retention decrease, and this is very good for food safety. Like how much percentage we enhance the result? 44% less solvent retained in the printed finished product. Brightness. With ethyls, we achieved, we were taking the 66 UBS, but with propyl, we enhanced our color brightness up from 66 to 76. So if you are shifting your printing, if you are going to change your solvent from ethyl to propyl alcohol and propyl acetate, then you can have a more brightness, you will have a less solvent retentions, residual order less, viscosity about the 20% less viscosity reduction, then efficiency of your press more than 27%. Printing speed, if you are with ethyl and ethyl alcohol or ethyl acetate, you will like your machine speed is a maximum at 180 meter per minute. So with propyl alcohol or propyl acetate, you can enhance your speed by changing the solvent. You are not going to change your ink formulation. You are not going to change your paper substrate, or you are not going to change anything else. You are not going to make any modification of your inks. Just you are going to change the solvents in your printing area. So you can we increase 22% speed of machines after changing the solvent. Scrap 5 times less than analogs rollers in, and photopolymer durability very good. Like if the customer, when he was using the ethyl solvents, like alcohol or ethyl acetate, so the durability of a photopolymer plate was, for example, 24 hours. But when he changed the solvents, the durability of the photopolymer plates increased up to 96 hours. Like he enhanced the durability of photopolymer plates about 4 times. So it means when you are printer, if you are using UV flexo, you are using the flexographic printer, you are the rotograver printer, choose the right solvent for your printing process. Don't go for cost-effective solutions. One side you are going to for cost-effective solution, on the other side you have a more like a poor performance of machines, poor performance of results. So very important to solve it. So action number 4 for driving the excellence in printing ink quality management. Test all type of when you are receiving the new batch from your ink supplier. So you must test you should do a number of tests for your ink batch that you are receiving from your ink supplier, like non-volatile contents. How much solid contents you have in your inks? Like for example, in one batch you are receiving 25% solid content, and next batch you are receiving the 35% solid content. So how you will standardize your ink formulations? Ask your ink supplier, please mention the solid content in your certificate of analysis. And based on this data, evaluate the solid content in your ink room, in your ink kitchen. Then viscosity. Again, the same point as we discussed in before in like a varnish that we in the first or second slides. One varnish, the July supply had the 22nd with Zangup 2 and the August supply had the 15 seconds. So if you are getting the viscosity variations in your each coming batch, so so this will not give you a very good result on your printing press, and this will not be able to, you will not be able to standardize your ink formulation. So when you are receiving any new batch, if you are a printer or if you are ink manufacturer, so if you are supplying the inks to your customers, then make sure that there should be a consistency in viscosity. Then shade, there should be not be a shade variation. Like for example, when we are using the like we have a 2 yellow pigments, we have a yellow 74, we have a yellow 13. So the tone value for both yellow is a different. Yellow 74 is a different, yellow 13 is a different. So sometime the ink supplier has finished the stock of yellow 13s. So he will add, what he will do? He will add the yellow 74. So it means there will be some color variations. So make sure the each batch you are receiving from your ink suppliers has a perfect shade. Addition on substrates. You also need to do this type of test in your ink rooms. If you are printers or if you are ink supplier. Scratch resistance. Gloss. What is the gloss for your incoming batch? Maybe this time you are receiving the 74 and next time you are receiving the 54. So how this will impact on your printing quality, how it will impact on your finished product. So very important to check the gloss. Heat resistance, very important. If you are are applying the 150 Celsius temperature for sealing purpose, so make sure the inks have good heat resistance. Opacity, defreezing test. If you are using the supplying your printed material to the defreezing product, then light fastness, very important. And now the light fastness is a different for different regions. Like for Latin America, the light fastness intensity is different. For Middle East and Africa, the light intensity is different, and for Europe, the light intensity. So test your inks according to light intensities with multiple regions, according to ISO. Reduction factor. How much you have a reduction factor for your printing inks? Maybe the first batch you are receiving with good reduction factor, maybe 30%, maybe 35% from your ink supplier. But after this, your ink supplier is degrading the quality of your inks, and they are trying to supply with less reduction factor. So this is very important to keep monitoring the reduction factor of your printing inks when you are receiving the. Then color difference delta values. If you are printing with like Coca-Cola, like Pepsi, like P&G, all are focusing on color management system. They have a color QC or IQC software. So they are focusing on delta values. They are focusing on half tone dot gain. So like what should be the action number 4 to drive the excellence in your printing in quality management? Like you need to test for each incoming batch through all these type of tests: solid contents, viscosity, shade, adhesions. So this is very important for you if you want to achieve excellence in your printing in quality management. Then yes, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, please.
When we go back for the previous, yes, thank you. Just for the quality testing, if I'm doing at the end of, instead going through all these steps, I just do a color difference with delta E. And I put a target for 3%. If I'm below this 3% as a target, I can summarize that my my colors or the ink batch I received are consistent in quality, in terms of quality. This will be enough because, as you know, if we need to do all these tests, I think we have a lot of equipment to do every single test. But if I have the color difference delta E below the target, I put it 3%, let's say, I'm okay, or I should go through every single test.
Finish. So, what I understood from your questions, so you are only doing the delta E value. You are checking the delta E value.
I'm doing some basic tests like viscosity for sure. But for the shade, as you know, we have to use the equipment as the proofer, let's say. But at the end, we have the delta E, which we have to judge the color deviation. So, yes, from your point of view, it will be enough to judge the color batch received from the supplier. If we are, let's say, to put a target, delta E target below 3%, this will save us a lot of tests, or we should go through every test in the list.
Yeah, so your target value for delta E is 3, yes?
Yes, below 3%.
I personally, based on my experience, because I work in multiple national and international companies, the value, and this is against ISO standard 2846, and this is also against the 12647. The value for delta E should be 1.5, less than 1.5 for each batch. And if you are making less than 1 between your standard and between the coming batch, so this will be fantastic for you. But 3 is too much. Like 3, there are some delta E value differences. Like if you have a less than 1, you cannot see with the eyes. But if you have 3, you can see the difference between if 2.9, 2.9, 2.9 or 2.95. So you can see with your naked eyes. So this is too much. For me, this is too much. 3. Make sure you are your delta E value for incoming batch and for your standard is coming less than 1.5. This is a standard delta E values. And if you are using IQC software from X-Rite to check the delta E values, and if your value is going 1.5 above 1.5, definitely the system, the software is going to fail your samples. So just try to minimize the target for your delta E values. One thing. Another, you are checking the viscosity, and if I'm not wrong, you are printing on a tissue paper, yes?
Yes, right. You're right.
Yeah, you are printing on tissue paper. So what will happen if there is no adhesions on your tissue paper? So like ink is removing with the hand. So what's the benefit for using the tissue? So you also need to check, like if ink is removing from your tissues. So, okay. So what's the benefit? You also need to check the adhesions on your substrates. And you also need to check the light fastness of your inks. Because you are based in Middle East, and the temperature in Middle East is higher than other areas. Yeah? Sometimes we are touching the 52 Celsius. So if you are sending the your printed finished product to the customers, and the color is fading, if you are keeping your material for some time outside of a production facility and the color is fading, how customer will accept your product? So this is very important. Go. And another solid content is also very important. So go for all these tests. If you need any support from CPPX team, definitely CPPX team can help out for you. Right?
Okay, I guess, yes, you're right. But
Yes.
at the end, as you know, when we start our ink lab, Our target was more than this 3%, and we try over the time, and when we get enough experience in the process, we try to reduce it to 3%. But we can, as you said, we can reduce up to 1.5 to be on the safe side and to avoid any complaints from the market.
Yes, yes. Go less than 1.5.
Here, okay.
For example. Then, so if you are printers, this is also action number 5, standardized certificate of analysis. Don't accept this type of certificate analysis. Just you will manually you will write the lot number 1507135, and next you will use the same format. Just you will cut and you will use change the only lot number. No. When you are taking the certificate of analysis from your ink suppliers, if you are printers, take complete information from your ink suppliers, like what type of physical experience, physical appearance, and viscosity, and what standard your customer, when your customer, your supplier is making the testing for your order, what type of standard they are using? Are they using the DIN standards? Are they using the ASTM standards? Are they using the ISO standards? So your ink supplier also need to mention the standards, reference standards in front of test, density, solid contents. Because remember, the ASTM standards, the DIN standards, the ISO standards, there is some variations. And what will happen if your ink supplier is testing under ASTM standards and then you are checking under ISO standards? So there will be definitely, you will not be able to match the result with your ink suppliers. Particle size. What is the particle size that you are getting? Like a couple of days before, just I received one question from one customer. Oh, white ink is we are printing on Gravier. We have a rotogravier process, and the ink is going inside, like ink is like not going inside the cells. We have huge lines on our engraved cylinders. So why this? We have bigger. When they asked their ink supplier to reduce the particle size, and they took another batch, they received good results. So this is very important to ask your ink supplier to check the particle size, adhesions, gloss, heat resistance. So ask your, don't accept the incomplete COA, certificate of analysis, from your ink supplier. Always ask your ink supplier for complete details, informative certificate of analysis. And if you are an ink manufacturer, then please try to provide the all detailed informations that you are doing in your quality control lab to your customers, and customer will have all complete information about this one here. Then action number 6, to drive the excellence in your printing and quality management, third-party ink analysis reports. Just I mentioned a couple of years before, we had a test for one ink supplier in the Middle East, and just we replaced this customer name with a CPPX global name. And there was like, we did a SGS test for inks for cadmium, lead, mercury, antimony, arsenic, barium, chromium, and selenium. So we found the barium concentration is high than ROHS regulations, standards. Chromium concentration is high. Like thus required, the restricted limit is 1, but the chromium was existing in red, like magenta, 1.95. So too much. So always once a year, or maybe after like 2 years, you can proceed your inks for third-party ink analysis reports. Or you can ask your ink suppliers, please, we need a ink analysis report from third party, maybe from SGS, maybe from Eurofins, maybe some third-party organizations. So make sure this is action number 6. Because if you are printers and you are not going to test your inks for heavy metals, and your customer will test this one, this will be not good for you and not good for your business. Because the European directive 2011-65 is restricting the use of certain hazardous substance, like lead should be 0.1%. Cadmium should be 0.01%. But if the concentration of these substances is coming more than this percentage in your inks, it means these inks are not following in the European Directive 2011. So this is a very important for you, and to make a third-party ink analysis report, maybe once a year, maybe after 2 years. So this is very important. This should be action number 6. Then action 7, to drive the excellence in your ink room, supplier assessment reports. A couple of years before, we did one audit for our ink supplier. So this ink supplier was producing more than 1,500 metric tons per month. Very major suppliers. But when we audited the suppliers, we found below the quality. Food safety and quality, like we rated him 26%, and then financial, like financial 10%, like out of 100%, only 58%. So make sure after every year, after twice a year, you are going to make an audit for your ink supplier. But if you are ink supplier, if you are ink manufacturer, also you also need to make a audit for your suppliers. What type of quality they are going to supply to? What is the consistency in their quality? How they have a traceability? This is also not part of the ink quality. This is also part of the BRC ISO 22000. So, and then GMP printing in Swiss regulations. So you also need to make regularly audit for your ink suppliers. Action number 7. Then action number 8. Check the ink mileage for your ink suppliers. If you have a multiple suppliers, so maybe once a year or twice a year, you also need to check the ink mileage between both suppliers, because sometimes the ink suppliers are in the start, they are giving some different quality, and after some time the quality is degrading. So make sure you have a twice a year ink mileage test. Like for example, if you are buying from Sun Chemical and you are going to introduce Flint, so you also need to make a ink mileage test for this one. So how much material you are printing with Sun Chemical, same quantity, and how much material you are going to print with Flint with same quantity of inks. So in like when you are going to check the ink mileage, you also need to check the dot gain 30%, dot gain 70%, like ink performance at multiple dot gains, 30%, 70%, 100%. Then unit temperature, pure viscosity, then cylinders, if you are using roto engraved cylinder circumference, line screen, like you also need to monitor all these parameters when you are going to test inks for ink mileage. So this is the action number 8 that you need to implement in your ink room or in press room area. Action number 9, ink supplier comparative reports. You can develop your standard specifications. Like when you are have one approved supplier, you can develop the standards like physical appearance, like viscosity, what type of more than 45, more than 40, like then density values, solid contents, what you are buying from your standard supplier, solid contents, like 35, 32, for magenta 36, for yellow 31, like what type of solid content. Then if you are going to introduce a new supplier, please don't start business without comparative analysis report with them. Compare the reports, do the R test that you are for your regular supply and for your new suppliers. So this is very important for you. So this will help you to standardize your ink formulation. Like if you have Pantone 485C, so if you are buying from Sun Chemical with a different like a specification, and if you are buying from Flint with different specification, definitely you will not have a standard formulation. When you will formulate these things and bring to the printing machines, so this will impact on your like a print consistency and final printing results. So this is very important. Delta E value should be less than 1.5 when you are comparing the supply between two suppliers, or when you are comparing your standard supply and incoming batch. Okay, standardize, because fingerprint trial is very important for each printing process and each press room and each printers. So please do fingerprint trial twice a year, because fingerprint trial help us to standardize our substrate, help us to standardize our machine variables, help us to standardize our pre-press areas, help us to standardize our ink formulation. So there are some color space values for fingerprint trials, like standard values for process cyan. These are the standard values, like 1.55. But when you are going to make developing the process cyan for fingerprint trials, make sure you are achieving the density near to 1.55. L value is 54. So your value should be nearest to L 54, A minus 40. Like 100% you cannot achieve these values, but your values of color for fingerprint trial should be nearest to standard values, color space values. So this is very important. So make sure you are doing twice a year a fingerprint trial in your press rooms for process cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Why fingerprint trial is very important? Because fingerprint trial help us to standardize our substrate, help us to standardize our machine variables, help us to standardize our ink, like pre-press. So, and fingerprint also save our 21% material waste, machine setup about 18%, and customer rejection 27%. So make sure you are conducting twice a year fingerprint trial in your press room. Action number 11. Action number 12. ISO 2846 printing ink specification. Are you going to implement ISO 2846 in your press rooms or in your ink room? Because ISO 28462 is related to sheet feed, cold set, offset lithographics. ISO 28465 is related to flexographics. So for each printing, this ISO is explaining for each printing process need different LAB values, for need different colorimetric values, for geometries, for illuminants. So make sure when you are like you are going to implement this ISO in your press room, in your ink room. So if you are going to implement these values, if you are flexographic, implement according to this ISO 2846. If you are rotogravier, implement according to 2846 part 3. So this is very important. Standardize your ink room. So once you will standardize your ink room according to ISO 2846 and according to ISO 12647, so hopefully you will have a much more better result what you have now. Action number 13. GHS pictogram for printing inks. I observed when I visiting some customer, so sometimes there are not right pictogram on the packing. So make sure the ink you are taking the inks from your ink supplier, there is a right pictogram on the packing. Because in 1984, I remember in 1984, there was incident in Bhopal, India, where 3,300 people died, and more than 50,000 like affected with the gas leakage. So incident, because if we are using the solvent basings, so these are all are petrochemicals. So we must know we must have right pictogram for printing ink packing in our ink room. So these are the 13 actions that we need to, if we are going to implement these 13 actions in our ink room, so hopefully we will have an excellent result in our press room. Calibration of your machine, like just I'm going to repeat shortly, make calibration of your lab equipments with your printing machines, quality checks for your inks, after standardize according to ISO standards, and then all these types that we discuss about fingerprint, conduct the fingerprint trial twice a year. So I think that is the end of this sessions. So if you have a question, you can just share with us. Tatiana, can you take the questions?
Moment. Yes.
Wait.
If everyone modest shine, you can write it on Rabi. Is it a question or not? So if everyone ready with the question and not shy, just raise a hand or just unmute yourself.
Yes, I have one question, please.
Let's
If
do.
you sorry, if we can go back to the for action 6, please. Yes, thank you. For this kind, yes, action 6, yes, this slide.
This one?
Yes, very good. This one. The previous one, please. Yes, exactly. This, as we said, we need a third-party ink analysis report. All this criteria, lead, mercury, cadmium, should be as the percentage as the maximum mentioned in the list, right?
Yes,
this one is applied only for the solvent-based ink or for both water and solvent.
No, you are if you are using water-based ink or you are using the solvent-based ink. So this is applicable for both. Because
For
you
both.
know, yeah, because you know what is the difference between water-based and solvent-based inks? The difference is between the solvent. In water-based, we are using as a water as a solvent, but in solvent-based, we are using the petrochemicals. We are using the like organic solvents. This is the only difference. We are in water-based, we are using the additives, we are using the pigments, we are using the resins. Similarly, in a solvent-based, we are using the same. We are using the resins, we are using the pigments, we are using. So these substances coming maybe from resins, these substances will come maybe from pigments, right? So
Yes.
this is applicable for both.
So we have to maintain the percentage as mentioned in the
Yes,
table for
according,
both.
according to European Directive 2011/65.
And when we ask for third-party ink analysis, who should be the third party? We should rely on it to get this
SGS,
report.
SGS is also good option for third party.
Okay.
You can proceed to Eurofins, but SGS is also based on availability, based on your resources. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Tatiana, anyone?
On the chat only was the question regarding recording, and now we have the question about participation certificate. So Ashfaq, can you answer that? Like recording will be shared, right?
Okay, recording we will share, and hopefully if certificate of participation. So we will check and we will have a soft copy.
Okay.
Not a hard copy, but we will share the soft copy of certificate. I will check with the team, and then hopefully we will share the soft copy of certificate. Yeah.
Okay, what else I see? Is there any practical way to test the light fastness?
Yes, we can test the white. We have like 1 minute light fastness. Yes, we have sun tester, and with this sun tester, we can test any color light fastness. This is the right equipments for multiple regions. Like you can see in this in this equipments, you can set the UV intensity for Latin America, for Europe, for Middle East. So this equipment has multiple options. So you can test any colors with sun tester.
More. Is exposing in the sunlight enough?
So if no sunlight, like sunlight, if we are going to keep test making the sun test in morning, evening, the light intensity is fluctuating from morning to evening. But this test, this instrument will help us to give us a consistent and perfect result.
Okay. And I think Zafar has a question but didn't write. So maybe you can unmute yourself.
I think
No?
I think he went out.
Great. So as I've mentioned in the beginning, we have an email, info@cppxglobal.org. So you can just reply to the email that we sent yesterday regarding the link. When we have time, we will reply. So follow us everywhere. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find our website. And the last but not least, maybe this time we have more people and more people are ready to share the smiles. So how many of you can open the cameras? Turn on the cameras. Ashfaq, can you stop screen sharing so I can grasp all faces?
1 minute. Yes, can you?
I still see the screen. Stop participant sharing. Okay, I did it myself. So 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, more or less the same people. Okay, so wish you a nice evening, a nice day. Don't know what day you have, morning, evening, day. So thanks and hope to see you again. That's it from our side.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.